Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is now 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, May 28th. Welcome to the Corporation Township Mapleton Council meeting. If you are able, please rise for O Canada. Any declaration of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, we'll do confirmation of minutes. Moved by Councillor Tamlin, second by Councillor Ottens, that the minutes of the Township Mapleton Council meeting held on May 14th, 2024 be confirmed as circulated in the agenda. Any comments, questions? All in favor? It's carried. There's no matters arising from the minutes, nothing under the Planning Act. We have no delegations today. We'll go right down to number 9, reports and updates from staff. First one up is 9.1.1. Moved by Councillor Tamlin, second by Councillor Ottens, that the Township of Mapleton Council receive for information CAO report CL 2024-06 dated May 28, 2024 regarding the appointment of a member of council to the Fire Services Management Committee, and that Council direct Fire Chief Chris Harrow to include the member in the invitation for the upcoming inaugural meeting scheduled next month. Manny?
Not too much to add to the report, just we're looking forward to a decision on who's going to sit, and then, well, Chief Harrow is looking forward so that he can get the terms of reference completed and sent out and get moving on to meetings.
So, Council, the question is, who should we appoint? So, Minto has the Deputy Mayor, Jean Anderson. Jean has been on their Fire Committee for a number of years. Wellington North appointed Mayor Lennox for the initial term, and it's up to us now to appoint somebody. So if somebody would like to nominate a member of council, or to, I don't mind doing it if you want me to do it, that's on behalf of council, but if you want to do it, please let me know. Councillor Tamlin?
Yeah, do we know frequency and timing?
No idea.
Meetings? No. Okay.
Go ahead.
I was actually thinking of nominating my fellow councillor, Councillor Martin.
Mike, are you able to do it? I know how busy you are.
Yeah, the question I had, that's fine. The question I had is, would it be for the remainder of the term of council? Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? What are you,
I
what are
would
we at?
suggest it's the remainder of the term.
What do we have left?
Remainder of the term of council
years,
is what I'm
okay.
thinking. Would that be something you'd be interested in then? Because you have some background in the fire department.
I'm fine with it.
Manny, do we have an idea of what time these meetings are? Did Chris say anything to you about that?
Through your worship, no. There's, I think he's waiting to see who's been appointed to tailor the terms of reference around the group that's been,
Okay.
preferably, hopefully, will be in the, when everybody's available.
Amanda?
The only other question I had just in regards to this is it will run the course of council, and then new term, we same as all our other committees, would appoint somebody at that point.
Correct.
Too.
Yeah. Anybody opposed to Councillor Martin sitting? Okay, Councillor Martin. We'll put that into the, I need a seconder to add Councillor Martin and Councillor Ottens. All in favor, Councillor Martin? So we'll add that into this resolution then, Councillor Martin, or is this a separate resolution? Do you have a separate one? Okay. So moved by Councillor Reid, seconded by Councillor Ottens, that the Township Mapleton Council appoints Councillor Mike Martin to the Fire Services Management Committee. Any questions or comments? All in favor? That's carried. Now we'll go back to the original motion, which is of the appointment, and direct Chief Harrow to include the member. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Martin. I know you'll do a great job, and you have some background in that. Next item up is 9.2, moved by Councillor Ottens, second by Councillor Tamlin, that Economic Development Report ED 2024-02, dated May 28th, 2024, regarding economic development update, May 2024, be received for information. Amy.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Councillor. The Economic Development Department has been busy the last few months, so we thought this would be a great time to show you what we've been up to. So we'll run you through our report here. So we're going to talk about CRP, donations, grand opening, our Wowza event, Mapleton events, Taste Real, and of course Canada Day is coming up. Next slide. So our CIP, or Community Improvement Plan, we are now accepting applications. So businesses that are out there that would like some information, they can contact us here or they can check on our website. We actually have received a third application this morning. So there are still some funds available, and it would be great to see more businesses apply. Of course, you guys are aware that you donated to the Mapleton Mental Health recruitment team. We attended the grand opening at the Chop House. We are all very excited to have them reopen under new management back in town. They are such a great asset to our community. We were also able to attend the grand opening for Skydome Transit Services. It was phenomenal to see their facility and actually see all of the amazing things they do right here in Mapleton. We attended the International Women's Day Wowza event, where we were celebrating women in business. We had a keynote speaker as well as a panelist from across several municipalities. It included dinner and entertainment. We had an Explore Your Future job fair where we partnered with the CEC as well as Wellington North and Minto. It was an opportunity for grade 8 students to come to the arena in Arthur and learn about all of the jobs and things that happen within our communities. Lots of times younger generations think, I want to get out of high school, I want to move away. This was a great opportunity to showcase all of the businesses and job opportunities that are right here for them prior to them starting high school, and ensuring that maybe they can get on the right track for something that interests them. We also held North Wellington Works Job Fair and Volunteer Fair at Norwell District Secondary School. It was a great success. We did partner with Wellington North and Minto again, and also the CEC and the County of Wellington. We had the opportunity to also have all the co-op students set up booths with media and displays showing all of the things they've learned. So not only could the public come in and potentially apply for a job at the job fair where people were hiring, the high school students all also had an opportunity to come through, and the co-op students had an opportunity to showcase what they were learning and ask questions for people who work within their career and within their fields of interest. We are currently running a photo contest. We are getting to the end of the contest, so it'd be great to have everybody send their photos in. There's some cash gift card prizes to local businesses available should you participate and win. Spring Rural Romp just happened this past weekend. We had 3 Mapleton businesses showcased within the Spring Rural Romp this year. It is always a great event put on by Taste Real. So this combo we're really excited about. We have partnered with the Rotary Club, and we are bringing our farmers market back to Mapleton. It is going to be the first Monday of the month in June, July, August, and September. We are going to have the car show alongside the farmers market. That says 17 vendors. We are now at 19 vendors. We have some live music lined up, as well as some food booths, and we're just really looking forward to a great night and sort of a small little event that's happening on a monthly basis right here in Mapleton. It will take place downtown at our municipal parking lot here in Drayton. Our farmers market box is back. This is a great time for our farmers markets to have the opportunity to donate products, or sorry, I shouldn't say donate. We purchase products from them through Taste Real, and they get to showcase all of the things that they offer, and we can have their bags delivered, or they can pick them up here from the township. We usually use PMD Arena as our local pickup for that. And save the date for our Canada Day event. So this year, our Canada Day event has grown. We are looking forward to having food trucks and food booths, lots of family activities. We have the bouncy castles back. We are going to do a touch-a-truck with municipal vehicles. The Rotary Car Show will also be there. We have some swag to give away. The farmers market will be happening at the same time. We have the Moore Band back. We also have some additional live music that will happen in the afternoon, and then we'll have fireworks at dusk. So we're really looking forward to this event. And thank you. Any questions?
Well, okay. Great overview of what's happened and what's going to be happening. Amanda?
Through you, Mayor, more of a comment than a question through to the economic development, is seeing the awesome vendors that are coming. Like, they seem to be coming from further away, coming into us. Like, we've got, I can't even name them all. Obviously, there's 19 of them, but I've been seeing the vendor spotlights, and they're great. So thank you.
And of course, the Taste Real Market Box, if you haven't purchased those before, they're excellent. I know the one that came from Mapleton last year was really good. You get all those products, like you said, delivered, or you can pick it up. Any other questions or comments? Councillor Martin Tamlin?
Yeah, through you, Mayor, to Amy. Yeah, just a comment, really. It's really nice to see where you've collaborated and brought lots of groups together, where sometimes in the community events are maybe low attended or not supported so much, but to bring them all together, I think it's such a good way to go.
Thank you. Anything further? I'll call a question. All in favor? It's carried. .3, moved by Councillor Otten, seconded by Councillor Tamlin, that Township Mapleton Council receive for information Finance Report FIN 2024-12 regarding the 2023 year-end operating variances and surpluses as information, and that Council approve the allocation of $425,203 into the respective Capital Reserve and Environmental Reserve funds, and further that Council approves the 2023 audited financial statements. Would you have anything to add to that one, Heather?
Thank you, Mayor Davidson and Council. Yes, we have a surplus this year, and the surplus in the operating fund is $425,203,000, and I just wanted to highlight a few of the variances by department. In our taxation section, the main I guess variance there was due to the bank interest. Due to the interest rates being very high this year, we generated quite a bit of income there at $641,000. General government, the administration budget, there was a variance there. And that was due to a lot of the costs of studies and travel and convention, legal fees, that impacted this shortfall. And also, administration tends to be sort of a dumping ground for everything that's difficult to categorize. So it ends up getting a lot of one-offs that are a little bit unusual. Our fire department also had a shortfall, and there were a bit of that was the studies. There were equipment costs, and we also had an increased salaries in that section as well. Transportation came in very close. It was really it was underspent from last year, and it was only a 1.15 increase over budget. So it's very close, considering the, that we budget nearly $6 million for it, so. Environmental services also came in with a deficit, and there was a budget pressures in the operating and maintenance accounts that sort of pushed that up. And our recreation and cultural services had a shortfall of $111,000. Parks also had, maintenance activities that sort of pushed that up, and there was a shortfall in revenues and an increase in salaries in the recreational programs. I did want to point out that the use of our halls, we had $53,000 that of service organizations that use the halls, and Mapleton's own use of our halls was about $50,000. This is not really counted for in our books, but I just wanted to note it. Planning and development also had revenues that were slightly lower, and the studies and the salaries added to the deficit as well. Capital spending, we had capital additions of $4,670,325, or $325. And I just was wondering if anyone has any questions.
Thank you, Heather. And questions from members of council? To Heather on this? Councilor Martin?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I got to give you at least one question. You've been sitting here patiently for a few meetings now. It's actually just going back to your comment about the use of the halls. So just so I have it clear in my head, so it was $53,000 worth of hall fees, essentially, that because of our policy around service club use, that kind of tallied out at $53,000. Is that correct? And then $50,000 is what we would have used as a township for whatever type of internal use. Is that's correct?
Through you, Mayor Davidson, to council, yes, that is correct. There was $53,000 of service organizations in our fees and charges bylaw. We have listed those, and that was, we do keep track of that and tally it.
Thank you for that question. I had the same one, so. Anything further? All right. All in favor? It's carried. Next item up is 9.4, moved by Councillor Otten, second by Councillor Tamlin, that the Township Mapleton Council receive Public Works Capital Projects Update Report, PW 2024-11, dated May 28th, 2024, for information. Jamie?
Thank you, Mayor Davison and Council. This is a report that I had promised Council the last meeting, following from my budget update, capital budget update. So if there's any questions, a little bit of information there. We're really in most projects except for the Drayton Pumping Station. Still in the preliminary design approval process. We do have the new generator at the water towers there with the building, the communications building. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to drive by, it looks really good. So they're working on getting that wired today, and the automatic transfer switch will go in next Tuesday, so we'll have emergency power up there. But if there's any questions, most of it is preliminary design, investigation work.
Thank you. Questions to the Public Works Director? Seeing none. All in favor? That's carried. Moving on to 9.4.2. Moved by Councillor Reed, seconded by Councillor Martin, that Township Mapleton Council receive a proposed PMD arena parking lot reconstruction report, PW 2024-10, dated May 28, 2024, and that Township Mapleton Council direct staff to proceed with option 2, that includes the traffic calming alteration of the parking spaces. Jamie?
Yeah, through you, Mayor Davison, this has been on, I think, the budget for in everybody's mind for a few years. So we did come up with a couple designs without reducing a lot of parking spaces, and we did switch the parking at the back, the entrance to the business owner at the back. They have been notified of the changes we're going to be doing, and so when the facility is being occupied, this is hopefully going to slow everybody down through there. And, yeah, it was probably the best without losing a lot of parking spots. We only lost a few there. And then we'll move forward, if council approves this, we'll move forward with lighting design, stormwater management. So it's all been pretty much there, but I just need to get some official quotes. So hopefully council's happy with that. And we're going to pave as much as we can with the money in the budget. We're going to go as far as we can, so I won't know that until we get some final numbers, but asphalt has been at a good price this year, as council would have seen through our paving projects.
Thank you, Jamie. When you say pave more, you're thinking around the building where it's gravel right now, that area?
To Mayor Davison, that would be my hope. I would hope to pave the whole entire parking lot, and if there is a bit of a shortfall, you might see me back in front of council to ask. I know there's a project in scheduled for 2028 maybe, to do some renovations to the front of the building with some extra parking spots. And it's for $345,000, but I'm gonna try and do that this year and make it a little bit of safer passage for people entering the building. So I'm gonna hope to do most of it this year and kind of carve that budget right out, that piece of the budget right out in 3 years.
And we're doing the back part of the building, if we have the opportunity. Are you doing drainage back there as well?
Chief Mayor Davison, yes, we are. There's a catch basin. I'm not sure if it's on the drawing on the site plan, but there's, the catch basin. You can see it on option number 2, right straight back there.
Perfect,
We're going
thank
to put
you.
some pipe in there.
Because it gets quite wet
Yep.
back there.
So the plan is to do that.
Other questions? Councillor Ottens?
I just wondered, because we're losing, by option 2, the parking goes horizontally to slow traffic, and then we're losing 8 spaces, I wonder, right? That front corner, bottom right, is that just like a little patch of grass? Could that be added to the parking lot? Because you could probably get those spaces in there. I was going to drive and look at it today, but I didn't. But I just wondered if that could be added to the parking lot?
Through your Mayor Davison. Through your Mayor Davison, I can definitely look at that. That's something we never really asked. My hope was to extend the asphalt around the back and have parking back there and maintain that green space. There's a lot of infrastructure right in there too, like our storm drains there. We got water valves there. So along the back of I guess it would be far right along the back there, that's where all our infrastructure kind of comes through there. And you can see the pipes there. So there's a little bit of water and wastewater stuff that are close to that. So, and I think the idea behind that was to keep a little bit of green space. But I can definitely look into that and see if there's any reason. Yeah.
Thank you. Other questions? Councillor Martin?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Jamie, for putting the work into this. The 2 questions I have are, I'm terrible at reading drawings, so you talked in your report a little bit about making adjustments to the front entrance of the facility, and I'm assuming it's not reflected on the drawings, is that right? Are you moving a pillar, are you readjusting that, widening it? What's your plan for the front entrance?
So through you, Mayor Davison, the cover that's there now with the two pillars are going to remain. What we're going to do is we're going to actually build a road outside of that where the rock is, move that large boulder and have people and widen it towards the flags and have people, if they're dropping people off, come there. And we're going to put removable bollards in front of that little bit of an underpass because it's too tight. We've had a few accidents there in the past. So it's basically to keep traffic will still be able to go up there, but they'll be outside of the underpass. And if there's a certain event we need to remove those bollards, we can open that up for delivery trucks. But that whole right from the main entrance and the entrance into the community center would be for pedestrians only. And a walkway up the side, make a nicer walkway up the side so it's identified. Yeah, just make the whole front entrance, I think, from people driving right up to the doors, a lot safer.
Yeah, definitely going to make it safer when you have that traffic going around the pillars. Any other questions? Councilor Martin?
Yeah, so I guess back to the front entrance again. Is it safe to assume that we won't make any like it kind of looks hodgepodge right now, kind of with two entrances. They look like they were built in different eras. They probably were. So the plan on adjusting, like structurally, what that front looks like would be when we potentially do more of a facelift to the PMD in general. Is that right? That'd be the plan?
Through you, Mayor Davison, that would be the plan with the two grant applications that we refused. That was all part of that bigger plan. And so my plan is with the Parks and Rec Strategic Master Plan is to include that piece in there. So I wouldn't want to go make any drastic changes to the front entrance until we can reapply to the program again. And we're hoping to get some good direction on what we need to do in preparing for the grant. We fell a little bit short on what was shovel ready. So that would be a piece of the strategic plan. And I would hate to spend a lot of money on that if we are successful one day. And adding that whole addition to our strategic master plan gets us another step closer because it's actually identified in a document.
Go ahead.
Question, and this is around the accessible parking. I'm assuming there's a calculation or formula that tells you how many spots you need. Is there a reason that they are all up against in that one row versus say two, like, I don't know, where you see the 35 icon like across, so they'd all be kind of closer to the entrance? Or is it like a typical routine kind of measure to have them kind of right up against the building just for safety? You may not have to worry about other vehicles coming around both sides or whatever. Or I wasn't sure if there's a thought process for placing them there versus maybe staggering them together closer to the entrance.
Through you, Mayor Davison, I'm not 100% sure. That's just where they've been, I think, for forever. So as close to the building as we can get them. They are right up against that accessible entrance for the community center. So I'm just trying to think about where you would, we're describing where we should put them, because, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I think what you're looking at is that we have 6 in a row right now, and maybe where the number 60 is, add 3 there and 3 type of thing, so.
Yeah, just back to back.
Yeah. You see what number 60 is in that first zone, if you can, I think that's what we're looking at. That'd be closer to the front entrance instead of that number 6 having to walk all the way down that new paved area.
Yeah, through you, Mayor Davison, there are, we would probably maybe lose a couple more spots, but if we could transfer them, but there is that extra space required, though it's a wider space. So we would actually, we could look at that and rejuggle and put a couple there. But I do see what you mean now. That's just a historical thing, but they have that extra lane for the wheelchairs and strollers and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
to
at
get
one
down.
time, I don't know if when you were here, but they were up against the fence. That as far away from the building as possibly could be. That was about 5 years ago. So, okay, other questions? Councillor Ottens?
Thank you. Talking about the entrance, when it's rejigged that way, will people still be able to drive under the awning for special needs? So they can be, if it's a rainy day, like, I'm thinking a bride in her dress, or a disabled person or elderly who can't, walk long distances in the rain?
The idea was to, through you, Mayor Davison, the idea was to have removable boulevards. If we had special requests, we wouldn't concrete them in permanent. We'd be able to unlock them and pull them if there was a special event there was a request. But I think if you don't put the bollards up, everybody is, generally what happens is everybody's in a real hurry. And I find them speeding. We do have security cameras there. So they will be removable, we won't have them removed all the time, but upon request, we can definitely take them down and allow people to drive under there.
Anything further? So the direction here is to proceed with option number 2. That includes traffic calming alteration of the parking spaces. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you, Jamie. Moving on to the next item, 9.43, moved by Councillor Martin, second by Councillor Reed, that Township Mapleton Council received Public Works Report PW 2024-12, dated May 28, 2024, regarding the sodden and drain improvement 2024 consideration of the report, and that bylaw number 2024-027, to provide for the construction of the sodden drain improvement 2024 be given first, second, and third reading, and the date of the Court of Revision be set for Tuesday, July 9th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. And further, that staff be directed to circulate the provisional bylaw and court revision notice in accordance with the provisions of the Drainage Act. Jamie?
Thank you, Mayor Davison and council. Tom Pridham and Greg Nanscoville from RJ Barnes side are here to present the report.
Tom?
Thank you very much, Your Worship. It's good to be back before council again. I've ran into a few of you beforehand, but it's been a few years, and it's really always a pleasure to appear before Mapleton Council. And also with me is, Jamie mentioned, Greg is with me, but Bob and Dave Ottens, Mapleton Layer Farms Limited, the owners wanting the work done, are both in attendance today as well. So we're lucky to have them on a rainy day, I should say. The work, if I can just direct council to the plan, the sodden drain originates in Mapleton. It's there's an old tile in the Mapleton Layer Farms property from 1959. It's just a small tile, 10-inch through 5-inch, and it goes through Wellington County Road number 9 into an open drain in the former Wallace Township. Wallace fixed the open drain up in 1975, and again, they've cleaned it out recently in conjunction with the dimensions and grades that we gave them to provide an outlet for the work that we're proposing. So the drainage superintendent for North Perth has been very cooperative and worked together with us to secure a proper outlet. The watershed is listed there. There's a small section of concession 12 in there. Ann and David Tilker are also involved to a small extent as well, but the majority of the work involves a bore under the county road and the decommissioning of the existing drain in the Ottens property. The farm has been tiled recently, and it's just simply waiting for us to put a better crossing in on the county road. The next slide, please, Amanda. The next slide is the profile showing the work. On the right-hand side, or the left-hand side, I should say, that's the open drain. If I can refer council to the top drawing, it's at a 0.04%, so it's less than half an inch and 100 feet, so it's not flying too fast in Wallace Township for sure. What we are proposing is about 30 meters of 600 millimeter diameter bore pipe, so that's about 100 feet of 24-inch pipe pushed underneath the county road. And we've met with the county, they've attended the various meetings, and the work that's proposed is satisfactory to them. On the upstream side of the road, there's a temporary catch basin there where the tile has been connected to. We will decommission it and put a brand-new catch basin, larger catch basin at the proper grade so that the tile will have a good outlet. In terms of capacity, that existing 10-inch tile that's been there since 1959 compared to this one, it's safe to say at least 10 times more capacity probably than currently exists. It's on a slight skew as can be shown at the bottom. On the next slide, this is just a little summary that we prepared for our information meeting that we had with the property owners. It just condenses the work into, basically looking at it on a larger scale. The construction activities, 67,500. Allowances, there's small allowances that are payable to the directly affected owners. There'll be some crop damage during the installation of the catch basin and hooking up the tile. Preparation of the report, that includes assisting the drainage superintendent in North Perth, getting the grade set for that. Meetings and procedure, that's where we're in now. Tendering construction inspection, when we tender it, Greg will be on site on our behalf to make sure that it goes in at the proper grades. There's only 2 inches of fall across the road there, so I hope it goes in at the proper grade, that's for sure. Administration and financing is listed there as well. There's a portion of the HST that's non-refundable. Over on the right-hand side, the total cost is $128,500. The biggest cost on this project stays with the County of Wellington. The road crossing going across the road stays as a special assessment to the county. They basically pay all of the costs less 100 feet of farm tile. So you would cost it out as if there was no road there, and whatever the extra cost is, they pay for it. So the special assessment is $84,500. So we take that from the total, leaves about $44,000 to the lands and roads. Concession Road 12, which is Jamie's Road there, is a ratepayer like everybody else in the drain, contributes water. They have an assessment. The county also has an assessment as they are a ratepayer in the drain, leaving a balance after the deductions of about $36,000. All the properties that are affected here are agricultural and eligible for a 1/3 grant. So that's the $12,000 in grant money. The allowances are credited back to the owners when it's all said and done, leaving a cost of about $23,500 to the property owners involved. So that's basically total minus the special assessment, minus the road costs, minus the allowances, and minus the grant. So that's where we're at. Next page, please. Over on the very right-hand side, this shows the net cost to the owners involved, but just sliding across, there's a benefit assessment, outlet liability for a total cost, for example, to Mapleton Layers of $33,890. The 1/3 grant is $11,297. The allowances are credited back, leaving a net cost of about $22,000 for that property. So if the work was come in exactly as we estimated, that's what the rough bill would be. Down at the very bottom, you'll see the County of Wellington. They have a benefit assessment, outlet, total, and they also have a special assessment. So the cost for the total for their County of Wellington is almost $90,000, including the bore. Lastly, just to give council a bit of an update as to the timing, if I could go to the one last slide. Just a preliminary timetable for the work. The reports have been mailed and circulated to the property owners as of May 15th. The consideration of the report, May 28th. We were doing that as we speak. Hopefully, the bylaw gets first and second reading and the quarter revision date set today. So that'll be circulated on June 10th. The quarter revision on July 9th. We don't anticipate any appeals with respect to the cost distribution. Tenders close on July 25th. Final reading of the bylaw and the award of the tender in August. And we hope to see the bore pipe installed in August or September when things are good and dry and the tile hooked up. And we'll leave it until next spring, and we won't finalize the work just to make sure that there's any settlement or anything is repaired around the catch basin. But Your Worship and members of council, that concludes my presentation, and hopefully we can see the work done this fall.
Thank you, Don. Questions for Mr. Pridham? See no questions, I'll go to the resolution. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item is item number 10, moved by Councillor Reid, second by Councillor Martin, that bylaws number 2024-025 and 2024-026 be hereby read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed this 28th day of May, 2024. All in favor? That's carried. Item 10.3, moved by Councillor Martin, second by Councillor Reid, that bylaw number 2024-027, being a provisional bylaw to authorize the improvement of the sodden drain, be hereby read a first and second time and provisionally adopted this 20th day of May, 2024. Any questions? All in favor? It's carried. There's item down to item number 12 now is correspondence for council's information. Anybody wish to speak or have questions on any of those items? All right. Any notices of motion? We're going into other business. I do have something to add to other business here. Mr. Clerk?
If you can get a mover and a seconder, I'm having these printed off. I could go get them right
Okay. We do have something that came to our attention today that we want to bring to council. So we're asking for mover and seconder that Township Mapleton Council. Hang on. So this is in regards to climate change coordinator, which we have budgeted for. And we just, the CAO would like to bring some information forward at this meeting and get a resolution passed by the members of council. So we're looking for a mover and a seconder to allow this to take place, to allow this addition to the agenda. Okay, Councillor Ottens, Councillor. Let's write this down. Yeah, so let's go with the CAO. Go ahead.
Through your worship, sorry about the last minute addition. Normally when we pass the budget, we just go ahead and as long as it falls within the budget, any project or any type of initiative, we just go ahead. In this case, Center Wellington brought it to their council yesterday, which I just saw today. So I thought it might be prudent if just to keep it clean and fully transparent, that if they brought it to their council, we should likely bring it to ours for execution and direction to the clerk and the mayor to sign the agreement. But like I said, normally if it's a budgeted item and it comes within budget, we just move forward. But this is kind of a unique situation, and just want to make sure it's completely transparent for us in Center Wellington.
So the clerk is passing out the agreement now. You can take a moment to take a look at it. The motion that we'll look for a mover and a seconder for is that the Township of Mapleton Council receive for information the fees for services agreement, climate change coordinator between the Township of Center Wellington and the Township of Mapleton, and that the Council of the Township of Mapleton authorize the mayor and clerk to execute an agreement for a fee for services agreement with the Township of Center Wellington for the services of a climate change coordinator as outlined in said agreement as dated May 28th, 2024. Go ahead.
And sorry, just not while you're reading, staff did go through the agreement and are comfortable. There was a few negotiation points that we went back and forth on, and decided to, or got them to change, but overall, we're satisfied with the agreement.
I know there's a few pages there to go over. If you have any questions, please let me know. Councillor Ottens?
Yes, thank you, through you, Mayor. So just to explain this a little, instead of, is this what's the sharing, like, we're sharing this person with Center Wellington, and I assume they're much larger, so this is not a 50-50 thing? Is this, what is it, 80-20, whatever, how does it work?
Through your worship, it's closer to 70-30. Yeah, and obviously, because they're being hired through Center Wellington, they'll provide a laptop, they'll provide office space, and they'll share, much like GRCA has their folks, and the water protection has their folks come in here, emergency management. But regardless, they'll be working on our behalf as well, while they're at Center Wellington, of course. But the sharing is a bit less for us because we're smaller, yeah.
Other questions? Larry, you want to sing a song while we're waiting? No?
It did cross my mind.
Yes. Mr. Barron, the amount on the last page of $48,000, was that within our budget?
Through your worship, if I remember correctly, and I have to go back exactly, but it was over 50 that we budgeted for, if not 60. So it's well within our budget, yep.
Thank you. So I ask again, any questions? Do we need more time? Go ahead.
Just a question, Mr. Mayor. Just kind of reading over what the services of a climate change coordinator, a couple pages from the back. I guess, what's my question? My question is, part of the duties are obviously gathering the data, and then analyzing the data, and then coming up with proposals and solutions around different initiatives. Once that's done the first time, what's going to be left? Like, would this not be better as a contract or a one-off or not a study, but like kind of a one-time deal versus having an annual position attributed to this type of initiative? Like, what's the long-term kind of job description of this person once the initial data set? Because after that initial data set's completed, you update it every once in a while. I might be missing something, but.
Thank you. I will get Mr. Barron to turn that over to him. The term of agreement is for 1 year with a renewable after that, so, Mr. Barron?
Thank you, through your worship. I don't disagree one bit with your analysis there. However, if you look at the history of what's going on with grants, any type of grant that is now coming has green energy kind of condition on it, if you will, and it's ongoing. So gas tax is looking to go that way. What initiatives are you doing yearly? What are you trying to improve? And once we do that, basically that's the bar that we set for ourselves in Center Wellington, of course. But that bar continuously has to be raised, and more efficiencies need to be found. And so, as the mayor pointed out, it's a 1 year. We don't have to go past the 1 year, but I can probably assure you that both levels of government, federal and provincial, will require a lot more green energy projects and initiatives in order just to qualify for the grants that we're applying for, which is where they would come in and help as well.
Well, just look at some of the funding we've tried to get now recently, and a lot of that had climate change adaptation to it. And there is a lot of funding out there, just climate change adaptation to your buildings, including the arena, things like that, so. Go ahead, Councilor Reid.
Through you, Mayor, I'm just wondering, would this person also, when we decide to reinitiate the climate or environmental group we have, would they sit on that committee as well?
They'd be part of that committee and give direction, yes, that's the hope. So that's the plan. Anything further? I know it's a quick read through. Staff have already gone through the contract, made adjustments, sent it back. Councilor Ottens, anything further? Councilor Tamlin, anything? Councilor Reid, anything further? No? So I did read the recommendation. Do I need to read it again? Are we good? I need a mover and a seconder for the recommendation. Should I read it again? Okay. A mover and a seconder for this, that Township Mapleton Council receive for information the fees for services agreement, climate change coordinator between the Township of Center Wellington and the Township of Mapleton, and that the council of the Township of Mapleton authorize the mayor and clerk to execute an agreement for a fee for services agreement with the Township of Center Wellington for the services of a climate change coordinator as outlined in the said agreement as dated May 28th, 2024. So mover, please, and a seconder. Councilor Martin moved. Councilor Reid seconding. All right. Mr. Barron. And once we sign this, it'll go out competitive process to look for that coordinator. So any further questions? We have the mover and the seconder. All in favor? That's carried. And opposed? None? Thank you. Is there any other business the council would like to bring up? All right, we'll go to the confirmatory bylaw. Moved by Councilor Reid, second by Councilor Martin, that bylaw number 2024-028, being a bylaw to confirm all actions and proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Mapleton, be hereby read a first, second, and third time, signed by the mayor and clerk, and sealed with the corporate seal. All in favor? That's carried. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.